First of all, I want to say congratulations on being nominated for the Eisner Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
You did not make it, but we know that it's an honor to be nominated.
It is, and I'll get my turn when I've got a little more gray in my hair. It's fine. I'm not in a rush.
And you've got several Eisners under your belt anyway, so it's fine. You're also here to talk about a new collection of your crime noir serial, Brooklyn Blood. Mm-hmm. It's being collected by Dark Horse. Tell me about it and what it's like seeing this serial being put together in one complete collection.
Okay, so Exhibit A, Brooklyn Blood. So the story was published originally as a serial in Dark Horse Presents, but it was written and designed as a novel. Dickens' stories were serialized. Tale of Two Cities wasn't a novel in the sense of coming out first as a book. It came out in sequential pieces. Watchmen, when it was initially released, was 12 issues of a comic book. But 100,000 people saw it as a comic book story, and a couple of million people have now read it as a graphic novel over the years and really have no concept that it ever was a serial.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know that it came out in a 12-issue series.
Exactly. So a book is the way you experience it. And particularly Brooklyn Blood is a police procedural mystery story. And that's a tough format to read over a 16-month period. It really knits together better as a single thing that you can read at your own pace. Writing it as a serial gave it a very accelerated pace within it, which is cool. It was written in these 8-page chapter segments, so the story radically moves ahead every 8 pages, which is fun. But I think people will have much more fun discovering it this way than they did within the anthology.
This, for a lot of fans who are familiar with you, would be a real departure from, I think, some of your best-known work. Legion of Superheroes, obviously, I think one of your signature projects, but most recently you did Dr. Fate. How much fun is it now, having removed yourself from the shackles of corporate life and being the publisher and all that, being able to just tackle all these different creative projects?
I've been insanely lucky. I had one of the absolute great jobs on the planet. It's like becoming the manager of the Yankees if you were a baseball fan. I got to hang out with the best writers and artists in the comics business, both of my childhood and of today's era. It opened doors and gave me financial freedom in a way that very few people have. So I'm exploiting my freedom to do things that interest me in different directions. I've written close to 500 comic book stories, most of them superhero stories of one flavor or another. Okay, let me try doing a different kind of story. Let me do a police story. I've loved mystery stories since I was a kid, reading Agatha Christie and Dorothy Sayers and Ed McBain. Can I do that myself? I've read a lot of it. I understand the system. Can I make that work? Can I make that interesting to people? Or is that a trick that you have to be born differently to do? Well, let's just stretch and try.
One of the many accomplishments in your careers, you were able to work with Steve Ditko during the 70s at DC. What are your recollections of him? Because he's always been this mysterious, almost mythic figure in comics. So I'm always interested to hear from people who actually knew him personally.
I mean, Steve's basically a perfectly normal human being. He just unusually had the attitude that he really wanted his work to speak for him rather than people focusing on him as an individual person. And I've certainly tried to respect that. To be a 17-year-old kid writing his first original comic book series and to be signed Steve Ditko to pencil it and Wally Wood to ink it is kind of like God comes down and says, here.
Ditko and Wood together. Wow.
What an amazing experience to work with people of that accomplished level.